During the Battle of Khandaq, the storm turned the course of the history of Islam. The storm made it clear that God is with the righteous. The enemies of the messenger of God were like a pack of wolves who fly in the storm and do not know each other. Khalid was worried that the Muslims would follow, but the Muslims did not think of following. In that storm, the pursuit and fight could also go against the Muslims. The enemy that God had driven away, it was not wise to follow him. However, a few men were put up on the hills by the order of the messenger of God to keep an eye on the enemy, so that the enemy would not go far away and stop and come back in order. The storm was blowing so much sand that nothing could be seen even a little far. After a long time, 3 or 4 Muslim horsemen jumped from the place from where Ikrimah and Khalid's horses had jumped Khandaq. They went far. They did not see anything but flying sand and dirt. They stopped but did not come back. A little before evening, the storm broke and the fight stopped. The atmosphere became clear and the eyes began to work far away. Clouds of dirt were rising from the ground in the distant sky. It was the dirt of the people of Quraysh and their united tribes, which was clearly visible in the last rays of the setting sun. This dirt was going to Mecca. The Muslim horsemen who were going to Taqib came back when the night was very deep. They came back and said, "By God, those who came to break our faith and to break the bricks of Medina, they have taken so much terror from Medina that they are not stopping. They are not setting up anywhere. Do not travelers set up at night? Do the armies keep walking at night? They keep walking, those who want to reach the destination very soon." According to the writings of Hadith and historians, when the Prophet was convinced that the enemy had fled in a state of fear and such a possibility was over that he would come back in order, then the Prophet opened the sword from his waist, took off the dagger and kept it, and thanked Allah, and took a bath. The morning that took birth from the shell of that night, it was the morning of victory, help, and joy for the people of Medina. There were slogans of Allah Akbar and happiness everywhere. Women and children were celebrating the most, who were locked in small castles. They came out screaming with joy. Muslims were very happy in the streets of Medina. The Jews of the Quraysh tribe were also included in this celebration of victory. The Prophet had given them some meaning instead of living in peace and security. Apparently, they called Muslims their friends and lived like friends. They were celebrating the victory of the Quraysh tribe like Muslims, but their leader, Ka'b bin Asad, was sitting in his castle. 3 leaders of his tribe were sitting next to him, and at that time, the extraordinary beautiful Jewish Hawa was also present there. She had heard the news of the victory of the Quraysh tribe last evening. Ka'b bin Asad said, "Isn't it good that we didn't attack the Muslims? Naim bin Masud gave me good advice. He told me to ask the Quraysh tribe for a few men as a guarantee of a treaty. He also said that even if the Quraysh tribe brought 2 armies, they would not be able to cross the Khandaq." I accepted Naim's advice because he was from the Quraysh tribe. A Jew said, "He is not from the Quraysh tribe. He is from the followers of Muhammad." Ka'b bin Asad said, "By God, your words cannot be true. He came with the Quraysh tribe." The same Jew said, "But he did not go with them. I saw him with the Muslims in Medina last evening." By that time, the Quraysh army had gone far from Medina. Ka'b bin Asad said, "Then who told you that he's from the followers of Muhammad? Why should I believe such a thing that you did not ask anyone?" The Jew said, "I asked one of my Muslim friends. I saw Naim and said, 'Do Muslims now keep the Quraysh war prisoners open?' My friend replied, 'Naim has accepted Islam long ago. He has now got a chance to come to Medina.' Ka'b bin Asad said, 'Then he did not save us from the Muslims, but saved the Muslims from us. Whatever he has done has proved good for us. If we had listened to the Quraysh," another Jew said, "then the Muslims would have become our enemies." You want to say this? Don't you, Ka'b? Muslims are still our enemies. We have to end Muhammad's new religion here. Otherwise, Muhammad will kill us. The third Jew, who was an old man, said, "Can't you see that this religion, which these people call Islam, how fast it is being accepted? We have to tie a bond to it. We have to stop it." Khalid bin Walid asked, "But how?" That old Jew said, "Murder. The murder of Muhammad." Khalid bin Walid said, "Who would dare? You will say that he will be a Jew. If he fails to kill Muhammad, then see the fate of the Banu Kinka and Banu Nuzair, the way the Muslims have killed them, and the way the survivors have fled to distant countries. Don't forget that." That old Jew said, "By God, if my mind doesn't work more than you, it doesn't work less than you. What you have thought today, me and Lays bin Moshan have thought a long time ago. No Jew will go to kill Muhammad." Ka'b asked, "Then who will he be?" The old Jew replied, "He is a man of the Quraysh tribe. Lays bin Moshan has prepared him. I think it is time to do this work. If you have not forgotten that I am the leader of the Quraysh tribe, then how can I allow this work, which I do not know how to do?" Khalid bin Walid said, "And who will tell me how that man has been prepared for such a dangerous task? Has Abu Sufyan prepared him? Has Khalid bin Walid prepared him?" The old Jew said, "Listen, Ka'b." Then the Jewish beauty looked at Yuhawa. She said, "If I tell this in the presence of Lays bin Moshan, won't it be good?" Yuhawa said, "The old man is more involved in this matter." Khalid bin Walid said, "How can we call that old magician? We trust you." The old Jew said, "He is here. We have brought him with us, and we have also brought him with us, who will kill Muhammad. Now we cannot wait." We all hoped that the Quraysh and their other tribes would erase the name and sign of Islam, but they have been defeated in every field. We had incited them to attack Medina. They ran away from here too. By the God of the Jews, Ka'b, you did very badly by not attacking the Muslims from behind. Khalid bin Walid said, "I have told you the reason for this." The old Jew said, "Whether the reason was right or wrong, the time has passed. Now we cannot wait for the victory of the Quraysh." He said to Yuhawa, "Call Lays bin Moshan, and keep the other one outside." Yuhawa left the room. When she came back, Lays bin Moshan was with her. He was an old Jew who was between 70 and 80 years old. His hair and beard had turned white like milk. The beard was very long. The color of his face was red and white. He was wearing a camel-colored turban. He had a long stick in his hand, which was carved like a snake's tusk from above. Lays bin Moshan was famous as a magician among the Jews. He was good at gambling and black magic. He was a resident of a village between Mecca and Medina. There were many famous traditions about him. One of them was that he can revive the dead for a while, and he has the power to subdue any man or woman. The Jews used to consider him their spiritual guide. He was a great man and scholar. When he entered the room, everyone bowed to him, and when he sat down, everyone sat down. Khalid bin Walid said, "Who is not aware of the greatness of the family of Moshan? By the God of the Jews, none of us can dare to call you here. Yuhawa may have brought you here." Lays bin Moshan said, "I am not a prophet, Khalid bin Walid. I am not used to hearing such beautiful words, and there is no time for respect and admiration. Even if no one called me, I had to come. You have wasted a lot of time in fulfilling your duty. This girl is better than you who did what you should have done." Khalid bin Walid said, "Honorable Moshan, we have not yet thought of that extreme step. Even if we intended to kill Muhammad, we would not have used Yuhawa. We cannot use such a beautiful and young girl." Lays bin Moshan said, "Why not? Have you forgotten that the whole world will be ruled by the God of the Jews? By the Star of David, we will have to make sacrifices to establish the sovereignty of the children of Israel over the children of man. We have to take the natural weaknesses of man into our own hands. Do you not know what a man wants? Stand with 20 horses and 20 slaves of the upper class with you, Hawa. Tell anyone to take what he likes. By the Star of David, that man will leave 20 horses and 20 slaves and take you, Hawa. There was silence at all the gatherings. Les bin Moshan said, I see that you could not understand me. Your minds are filled with the fate of your daughters. Listen to me carefully. Fate has nothing to do with shame and shame. It is a weapon that we have to use to make our enemies useless. I know what is bad and what is good. What will you answer me? This answer will be correct. But when you talk about bringing Judaism to every corner of the world, the meaning of bad and good will change. Muhammad is ending evil and bad. We have to create evil and bad. But we will not be bad and evil ourselves. If you want to put the spread of humanity on the face of the earth into the hell of your slavery, then show heaven to the non-Jews. Show them the paradise. Give them sweet wine. These people are naughty animals. Create more animosity in them. Do not think what is good and what is bad. See what is good for the domination of Judaism, even if it is bad. Then he looked at Jehovah and said, Tell them, Jehovah. Explain to them. A smile appeared on Jehovah's lips, and he told a story. He said, This story began a few months ago in Mecca. Jehovah told everyone without a veil of shame that he had brought the 3 famous scholars of the Quraysh, Khalid, Ikrimah, and Safwan, in their beauty and youth. He had thought of colliding with them, but none of them came to him. He also thought that he would create hatred for his leader Abu Sufyan in the hearts of the 3. Jehovah said. But Khalid proved to be a stone. He did not reject me, but he did not even show the interest that I expected. I think Khalid has an effect on Ikrimah and Safwan. These 3 are the hearts of war and dispute. They do not think anything but this. Jehovah was not disappointed. He continued his efforts. He quickly removed his attention from Khalid, because this was the only deal in his mind, that the Muslims had to be defeated in the field, and the messenger of God, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, had to be killed in the battlefield or as a prisoner of war. One day, Jehovah went to a village 4 miles from Mecca and returned from there the day before. He was accompanied by 2 girls and 3 men. They were all Jews and were riding on a car with 2 horses. Not even half the way was decided that a desert storm came, which blows away the sand dunes. First of all, its speed is so fast that even a strong man cannot stand on his feet. If any part of the body is left naked, the sand hits so hard that the skin feels like it is coming off. Camels, horses, get out of control and run away. Suddenly, a wall of sand that had reached from the ground to the sky came very fast and swallowed the car of those Jews. The atmosphere turned red. The sand slabs began to fall so hard that the waves rose in the sea storm and fell into the boat and hit the boat. The rocks began to crumble. It is very dangerous to stop in the desert or storm and stand up. The sand collects there by colliding with the body in this way, as if someone is throwing sand from a swing. After a while, a high pile of sand is formed there, and a person is buried in it. But he can't stay alive. The Jews said, The storm came from our side. The horses could not bear the sand and got out of control. They turned their direction to the direction of the storm and ran headlong. Small and large ditches came ahead. The horse car was flying very fast, swinging and unsteady on the mercy of the horses. There was so much sand in the car that you couldn't even see yourself. In one place, the wheels of the car went into the ditch on one side, and the wheels on the other side climbed to a high place. The car rose so high from one side that it was certain to fall on its side, but the car did not fall. He felt such a hard shock that I, who was sitting on the other side, rolled out and fell. The car moved ahead and I kept struggling. I carefully got up and called out to my companions, but I could hardly hear my voice in the silence of the storm and its screams. Those who were sitting in the car with me, they may not have seen me fall. If they had seen it, none of them would have had the courage to follow me so that I would not have been alone. I had never been so scared, and I had never been stuck in such a terrible storm. I could not see anything in the storm. There was no way under me. I also knew that the horses had moved away from the right path, and I don't know where they had brought the car. I was going in the direction of the storm with my clothes on my face. My feet were not frozen. The storm was pushing the storm away. Suddenly, the screams of the storm became very loud and scary. The storm went down first. It was a valley when it descended on the force of the storm. Then it collided with a wall. It was a wall of sand and soil. The storm kept walking ahead, keeping its hand on it. It was a drunken place in which there were also desert trees made of mud and twigs. Here the screams of the storm had become such that many women were screaming. Some screams did not seem to be of the storm. It did not seem to be of humans either. It seemed to be of witches or monsters. This Jewish beauty, who considered herself fearless and brave, wept in fear. She knew that the storm would stop, but she also knew that if someone's hand got caught, he would not take her to his house, but to his own house. And it was also possible that someone would ruin her and take her away. The night was coming. The danger of the wolves was different. If there was no other danger, then there was this danger that she had strayed from the path of Mecca. It is impossible to find a way in the desert. The result of a lost traveler is death. He does not die of fatigue, but of thirst. She heard the sound of a camel's rumbling. Her terror increased, but she was reassured to hear the sound of the storm. She could not see anything. She was walking, keeping her hand on the wall of the soil. This wall was made of mud and soil. Once again, she heard the sound of a camel's rumbling. Now this sound had come from very close, so close that Jehovah stopped and moved back. Now she had no doubt. It was the sound of a camel. The camel could not be alone. 2 or 3 men had to be there. This man could not be his companion. He was sinful and wicked. Jehovah decided to run away from there. But where? Where? There was no shelter there. She was being warm and strong. She was laughing and making fun of him. When she saw the hole in the soil, she hugged her companion. When he faked his existence and told him that they were only people of Jehovah, Jehovah did not know that she was trapped in the mud. He also picked her up and took her somewhere other. Jehovah was safe from the carries of the storm, and even from the mechanical power of Minhapata. She could easily on the same agile as mine shore. She couldn't see the camel. Along with the wall, she went further inside and saw a pit of a cave. But she didn't dare to go inside. She stopped. She heard a man's voice. "Come inside. Why are you standing outside? Come inside." Yahweh screamed and ran behind. As soon as she came out of that pit, the storm threw sand on her like someone threw sand from a swing. Yahweh got scared and moved back. A man who had come from behind stood in front of her. "Oh, you are a woman?" the man asked. "Are you alone?" "You can't be alone." Yahweh hid her face in the veil and said, "I have 4 men with me. They have horses, swords, and chariots." The man said, "Where are they? Why have you come here apart from them? Bring them here. It's a very good cave. We can all easily sit in it." Yahweh didn't move from there. The man told her 3 times to bring those men with her. But Yahweh's mouth was shut. The man slapped her and pulled her veil. "Aren't you the daughter of that Jew?" the man asked, and said in the name of Yahweh's father. "Are you alone?" Yahweh said in a weeping voice. "Yes, I am alone. Have mercy on me." Yahweh told her how she got here. The man said, "Come with me." He held Yahweh's arm and took her with him. Yahweh said, "Wait. How many men are you? Won't you have mercy on me?" "You must be from the Quraysh tribe," the man said. "I am alone and my tribe is the Quraysh. I am having mercy on you." Yahweh said, "I have seen you often in Mecca. I don't know your name." "I am Jared bin Musayyib." "Come with me," Yahweh said. "Will you take me home? I won't upset you." The camel whose voice Yahweh heard was of Jared bin Musayyib, who was sitting outside. Jared took Yahweh to the cave. Jared was a tall, muscular, and handsome young man. He took Yuhawa to the cave and gave her water and placed a bag in front of her which contained dates. Jared said, "Sit quietly. The power of the camel is breaking. I will take you home." So friends, this was our today's episode. We hope you liked our episode. Before leaving, don't forget to like, share, and comment. If you are new to our channel, subscribe to our channel and click on the bell icon to get all our videos instantly. Until the next video, take care. Allah Hafiz.